The Krathak had slumbered for 10,000 years. When their great hibernation pods finally cracked open across the dead world of Xerion Prime, steam hissed into the crimson atmosphere like the breath of ancient gods. One by one, the galaxy's most feared predators emerged. 12 feet of chitinous armor, razor-sharp claws that could slice through starship hull plating, and minds that had conquered 47 star systems before their self-imposed slumber. Commander. Zethkar was the first to fully awaken. His compound eyes adjusted to the dim light filtering through the ruins of their once great city. The hibernation had been necessary. Their prey species had grown too numerous, too clever. The galaxy needed time to forget the terror of the Krathak name. Time for new civilizations to rise, fat and complacent, ready for harvest. But something was wrong. As Zethkar's sensory organs fully awakened, he detected an unfamiliar scent in the air. Something warm, mammalian. His mandibles clicked in anticipation. Perhaps some scavenger species had evolved during their sleep, foolish enough to nest in the ruins of Krathak territory. He emerged from the hibernation complex, expecting to see the familiar landscape of Xerion Prime, jagged obsidian mountains, seas of molten glass, and the scattered bones of their last victims. Instead, he found something impossible. A city. Not a Krathak city, with its organic spires and bone architecture. This was something else entirely. Clean lines of metal and glass, structures that seemed to touch the sky with casual confidence. Lights twinkled in windows like captured stars. And everywhere, moving through the streets with purposeful efficiency, were small, bipedal creatures. Humans. Zethkar's first instinct was to attack. These soft-looking mammals couldn't possibly pose a threat. But as he prepared to leap from his elevated position, a voice spoke behind him in perfect Krathak dialect. "Commander Zethkar, I presume?" He spun around, claws extended to find a human, female standing calmly in the entrance to the hibernation complex. She was tiny, barely reaching his lower thorax, with pale skin and hair the color of sunlight. She wore simple clothing and carried no visible weapons. "I am Dr. Sarah Chen," she continued, apparently unperturbed by his threatening posture. "Welcome back to the galaxy. We've been waiting for you." "Impossible," Zethkar hissed. "No species knows the location of our hibernation world. We chose Xerion Prime precisely because it was lifeless, forgotten." Dr. Chen smiled, an expression that somehow managed to be both warm and terrifying. "Oh, we know about all your hibernation sites. Xerion Prime, the ice caves of Mortis 7, the deep trenches of Abyssos. We've been watching over them for quite some time." As if summoned by her words, more humans appeared. They seemed to materialize. From the very shadows, dozens of them, surrounding the hibernation complex. Still no visible weapons, but Zethkar's predator instincts screamed danger. "What have you done?" he demanded. "Where are my warriors?" "Still sleeping," Dr. Chen replied. "We've made some adjustments to their hibernation pods. Nothing harmful, mind you. We're not monsters, but we felt it best to wake you one at a time for conversation." Conversation. As if his species, the apex predators of the galaxy, the consumers of worlds, would engage in conversation with prey animals. "You will release my warriors immediately," Zethkar snarled, "or I will tear you apart with my bare claws." "I don't think so," Dr. Chen said gently. "You see, Commander, a lot has changed in 10,000 years. When you went to sleep, you were the galaxy's deadliest species. The nightmare that made entire civilizations flee to the outer rim. But evolution never stops, and neither does adaptation. She gestured to the city sprawling below them. We humans appeared about 8,000 years ago, young species by galactic standards. When we first encountered the ruins of your conquests, the scattered survivors told us stories. The Krithak, they said. The Devourers. The death that walks between stars. Zethkar felt a flicker of satisfaction. Good. The fear had persisted. Those stories fascinated us, Dr. Chen continued. Here was a species that had achieved something we desperately wanted to understand. Perfect predatory efficiency. So we studied you. We mapped your hibernation sites. We analyzed the genetic material you left behind. We learned. The humans' smile widened, and for the first time in his long existence, Zethkar felt something he had never experienced before. Unease. 10,000 years, Commander. Do you know what humans can accomplish in 10,000 years? We didn't just evolve, we transcended. We didn't just adapt, we perfected ourselves. We took the best qualities of every apex predator we encountered and made them our own. As she spoke, the humans around them began to change. Their forms flowed like liquid, bones elongating, muscles bulging, skin hardening into armor-like plates. Claws emerged from fingertips, eyes shifted and multiplied, and when they smiled, Zethkar saw rows of razor-sharp teeth. We can be anything we need to be, Dr. Chen said, her voice now carrying harmonic undertones that made his exoskeleton vibrate. The speed of the Zarathian hunters, the strength of the Thargon berserkers, the cunning of the Nexus Collective, the regeneration of the Void Spawn. And yes, Commander, the killing efficiency of the Krithak. But even as her form shifted into something that mirrored his own species' most deadly attributes, she remained fundamentally human. The warmth in her eyes never faded, and when she spoke again, it was with genuine kindness. The galaxy no longer needs apex predators, Commander. It needs gardeners, shepherds, protectors. We've spent the last 3,000 years undoing the damage your species caused, helping civilizations rebuild, fostering growth instead of destruction. Zethkar backed against the hibernation complex wall. You're prey, he whispered. You're supposed to run. We were prey, Dr. Chen agreed. But we learned something you never did. Evolution isn't about becoming the deadliest. It's about becoming the most adaptable, the most cooperative, the most persistent. She paused. The most human. The changed humans around them had now taken forms that perfectly mimicked Krithak physiology, but somehow improved. Faster, stronger, more lethal than his species had ever been. Yet they stood perfectly still, waiting. What do you want? Zethkar asked. To offer you a choice, Dr. Chen replied, her form shifting back to her original human appearance. Your species can remain as you are, the galaxy's former apex predators, obsolete and purposeless. Or you can learn to become something new, something better. She extended her small, soft hand toward him. We've been waiting 10,000 years to have this conversation, Commander. We're very patient teachers. Zethkar stared at the offered hand, so small, so vulnerable, yet somehow representing the most significant evolutionary leap in galactic history. The deadliest species in the galaxy wasn't the one with the sharpest claws or the strongest armor. It was the one that never stopped learning. Slowly, carefully, he reached out with one massive claw and gently touched her palm. The galaxy's deadliest, Species had just made their most important discovery. Sometimes the prey evolves faster than the predator, and sometimes, just sometimes, they're kind enough to wait for you to catch up.